Yeah. Yeah, totally. Right. And it sounds like we each have had, like, how many of us came, with some resistance to saying yes? Right. So I want to know, Christine, how did you get over that resistance? How did you go from, whoa, I don't know if I'm even worthy of this, to realizing, hey, I am worthy and I need to say yes to this program. So what was that for you?
It was more of a push from my family knowing, like, honestly, it was my husband. He's like, you deserve this. I had a cheerleader and I'm like, are you sure I should do this? And he's like, Christine, you were in bed for 3.5 years. You deserve it. Like, you deserve it. Just do it. Like, it's fine. Do it. You need it. Because I had gone to schools to help repair, and I was still missing something. And I just knew I needed this to fill this void and I knew this was just the way. And it was one teacher that introduced me to Brenda. My old teacher introduced me to my new teacher. And I just felt like that was a sign. And this was this was my path. And I had someone telling me, don't doubt it. Just do it. You deserve it. You've been through enough. Go take care of you. Find out who you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And you're smashing it.
Yeah,
you're smashing it. You're totally smashing it. Your growth has been such a joy to watch. And, not growth is not easy. Let's be honest. Let's have that conversation, right? Like, growth is challenging, and growth can come with tears and frustration and anger. And I mean, you name it, and it can, that's what growth can look like. But your beauty of coming out the other side is also growth of you, and growth of love for yourself, and growth of your worth. And that's the part that I really love watching and helping everyone coach through. Everyone stepping in and saying, like, hey, I can be who I want to be, and I'm worth it. At what point, and this is going to put you a little bit more on the spot, at what point did you realize, even though you had this tremendous support in the background, at what point in saying yes did you realize, I am worth this? Like, I'm worth this program. I'm worth doing the work. I'm worth giving it my all. Was that before you started, week 1, week 2? Where in your journey did that happen for you?
If I have to say, it was actually, I got the chance to do the 30-day manifestation course before I started the program, to be fair and honest. So
yeah.
It was when I did the 30-day manifestation program, I wanted to manifest a certain emotional responses to everyday life. And it came true. I said, I want calm. I want peace. I want to feel safe. I want to feel protected. And that showed me that this process works. This process works so well that I manifested that in 15 days, not 30 days. And so that was the point where, and I hadn't even started the real work yet. So it was the 4-day mini course and all the surprises that came with that. It was the 30-day manifestation course, and it was me being exposed to tiny little tools that really proved this works, because I see immediate change. Others around me see immediate change. So it's real. It's you can learn tools from I don't know how many different therapists, but it didn't hit me. This worked.
Yeah. You connected with it. Yes.
Yes.
Isabel, did you raise your hand? Was that a hand raise?
That was my cat.
Well, my cat is very vocal. She's been in my lap this whole time. So there is something connecting with cat energy at the moment. I love it. But so while you're unmuted, I'm going to ask you, how did you get over the resistance to saying yes to Fear to Freedom? And when did that happen for you? If you can remember, because
No, it's interesting you're asking that, because I was thinking it as Christine was talking. And what happened to me is I had already been in a yoga class where Brenda came in and did Reiki on the class. And that was long before I saw her workshop, but I followed her page. So what happened for me was she was speaking, and what I thought was so amazing was her total authenticity, her total transparency about her personal experiences and the things that she had gone through. And I was sitting there going, no, this is me. And I'm listening to you while you're talking and going, no one's ever going to hear about the crap that I have been through. No one is going, and here, this is me. Okay, I guess I'm making a call. It's like, what did she do? And I know that everybody has their person that they connect with. And I have had mentors in the past, and I have had mentors in the present, and I will have them in the future. What happens is, where does that person resonate for you? And what I discovered while I was going through this process is I coach other people and never even thought about it, that is what I'm doing, because I work with families and individuals, and discovered that, yes, I do need a coach to help me get to the next level. Because I was like, yeah, I got this. I figured it out. No, I just went, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to do this. And the minute that I said yes, I thought I was going to be, we'll call it fixing something in my life that, I needed tweaking with, that I haven't dealt with in 50 years or whatever. And suddenly I realized, no, that's not the whole issue, my dear. You are going to loosen up a lot of the other issues that you have, and this will be freed. And I mean, the fact that I'm sitting here and I seriously have had a crazy day. I have not brushed.
Look amazing.
Yeah,
and your
bless your heart.
Amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. Authenticity. Here I am. I'm telling you that. Otherwise, because I'm always person who has to be on, I thought, and I haven't brushed my hair. I'm still wearing my pajamas from this morning, and I have no makeup on. Okay. And it's been a crazy day, but you know what? This was important to me. And we always talk about, being impeccable with your word. And Brenda talks about that all of the time. I said, I don't care what I look like. My presence is here. And that is important to other people, to let you know, like if you're on the ledge as to whether I'm going to do this program or I'm not going to do this. It really has made an incredible difference in my life. And believe me, I was just going, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, we could all use an extra person in our corner. And I feel when I said yes to Fear to Freedom, not only did I gain Brenda, but I gained an entire sisterhood as well. I mean, I look at, yes, you were one of my first people in my journey, and you're still in the journey. We're still in the journey together. And you have brought so much joy and blessing into my own life. And I feel that way about every single one of our sisters. I connect with each and every one of us in many different ways. And it's, I think sometimes there's a lot of us that go around feeling lonely or lost, like, I'm not connecting with people don't understand me. And when I said yes to Fear to Freedom, all of a sudden I had a whole group of people that get me, that I can cry with, laugh with, be silly with, mess up my words with, and also speak my truth, which was buried for so long for me, speaking my truth. And I just know that this group of women is, if above anything else at the moment, a super safe space for me. And yes, there could be resistance that shows up when I go to speak, although I think we all know that, speaking for me is not really an issue. Although you would be surprised how much I actually get in my head on some of our calls, like, do the girls really need to hear this? And what I'm learning for myself is yes. The answer is always yes. Somebody on the call always needs to hear what each of us is saying. And so even though that resistance and ego might creep in, I'm just learning to roll with it and say, this is my safe space and I can say whatever needs to be said. Thank you so much, Isabel, for sharing. Kelly, tell me your perspective. How did you overcome resistance to saying yes to Fear to Freedom? Because you said earlier, you don't do this kind of thing.
No. I actually spoke with Angelica for quite a while. And
for those of you who don't know yet, Angelica is another BKISS coach.
Oh,
And so she's also somebody who supports us along our journeys. And yes, and she's often one of the first phone calls that you have coming into Fear to Freedom and BKISS. Yeah.
Yes. And we had very similar stories, from childhood up to, bad choice relationships. So we had a lot in common. And it was at that moment I thought, I am worth this. My kids are grown. I'm single. And, and I thought it's time for me. So I did say yes, after speaking with her and, figured, yeah, I'm definitely worth the investment. But I will say, probably 3 months down the road, I had some really high resistance. And I remember messaging Brenda saying, I'm done. See you later. It's been great. And maybe not in them exact words, but it was.
But that's what the feeling was. That's what your feeling was that was coming up, and you're just speaking openly and honestly about it. Yeah, you may not have said those words, but that's exactly how you were feeling.
I did tell her. I said, "No, I'm done. I won't be coming to class anymore. I'm over it." And she said, "Well, I think that deserves a conversation." I'm like, "Sure, whatever." Yeah. And she said, "What is going on?" And I said, "I don't feel connected to anybody." I said, "I just don't." And she said, "Well, how are you coming to class?" I go, "I'm coming fine." It's not me, it's them. So we had a conversation and she said, "I want you to talk to a couple of the other sisters. And, after that, if you still feel like you don't want to, you don't want to come back." So I had a couple of conversations with a couple of the other ladies. It was quite amazing because I did connect with them. And I ended up coming back and of course, I do a lot of inner reflection when somebody says something. So I did think, decide what Brenda was talking about. And I had to come back and kind of eat a little bit of crow. And I went, yeah, maybe you were right. I'll give it a try. And here I am.
And here you are.
Yeah.
And we're never going to let you go. I hope you know this. You're never going to be able to leave now.
I'm like, okay, so here I am.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to the retreat.
And now you're coming to the retreat. Right. So, I mean, that's the part that also, I think it's important to have in this conversation. Your resistance didn't show up until later. And later, it was very hardcore for you. And yeah, sometimes it's really taking that look inward, and it's not always fun. Let's right. So it's really sometimes about taking that look inward and owning our own crap. Right. And so kudos to you for taking that look inward and going, okay, maybe it's me, not them. And also for having that moment and then saying, I'm going to show up. Because you gave yourself that gift. You could have easily chosen to still not show up for yourself. And you chose to say, hey, I'm worth it. I'm worth this. I'm worth taking a look inward. I'm worth working out this challenge, this resistance. And I'm so glad that you did. I feel like you're one of those people I could just talk to forever and never run out of conversation. And it's a really beautiful connection that I feel with you. So thank you for sticking around and working through your resistance. Alexis, that leaves you, my love. What, tell me about your resistance, how you overcame it.
Ooh. Honestly, I overcame it in the beginning. I'm like Kelly, it came back, but I overcame it in the beginning because I spoke to Doreen. Brenda was like, do you want to talk to one of the sisters? Because my mindset was, is this really even going to work? I mean, you're talking a good game. I hear you. Okay. But is this really going to work? And when she was like, well, do you want to actually talk to someone, who's been through it? I'm like, sure. So when I talked to Doreen, I did already assume it was going to be like a sales pitch type, whatever. Doreen was super authentic, super honest, to the point where she told me about her resistance. And that's what I resonated with. It wasn't oh yeah, come on, it's gonna work, it's lovely. She was like, nah, I didn't want to do it at first. I had, like she was so authentic with me that I'm like, okay, maybe it can work. So I signed up, still, a little nervous about it. But like Kelly, a couple months later, the resistance came back. Mine came back because of the rules, though. And that I didn't recognize it at first because Brenda, did bring up the resistance. We had a phone call, but it was like, no, I'm not sure. I mean, there's timing constraints. There's this, there's my job. There's so many things. And I even stopped coming to a couple classes for a little while. And then honestly, it was Angelica who reached out. And again, I got that sister connection back, which I didn't recognize I needed because I got this. I'm fine. I can do it on my own. No big deal, whatever. But I recognized I did need it. And then hearing her story, just her reaching out. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Whatever. It was just that. It wasn't hey, come to class or do anything. She reached out to me to ask about me, And for me, that really did touch me. And then I started coming back to the manifestation class when that picked up. And I don't know. It's like I got a second wind of, okay, yeah, I do deserve this. I can work this. We can do it. And, it's just my accountability to me. I signed up for me. I do deserve this. So yeah, it was rocky.
That's okay. And that's okay. We're all going to experience the journey and it's going to be a roller coaster at some point. It's just, do we, cover in and crouch with fear? Or do we throw our hands up in the air like, and so I love that. Like, I feel like we're all like hands up in the air, like the resistance is coming and I'm just gonna, work through it. Whether it's talking to one of the other coaches, talking to Brenda, talking to another sister. I do want to also take the opportunity and say like a huge shout out to Doreen, who is also currently going through the coaching program. And so we'll be stepping into a coaching role at some point. And, this is all, even without that, this is all, fantastic connection and learning opportunity for every single one of us. And I love that. I love that there is always a reach out. There's always somebody who's reaching out to the sisters. Hey, where are you? How are you doing? Where are you at? How can I support you? And that happens amongst the coaches and it happens amongst the sisterhood themselves. I know that I've made connections with people and I just do, sidebar check-ins, with them. And I'm sure that that's happening. You're all shaking your heads. So I'm sure that that's happening for you as well.